Before we dive in today, I just wanted to kind of jump in at the start of this video and say thank you and welcome. And I'm really humbled by so many of you choosing to hit that subscribe button here at Ginger Prime. It means the absolute world to me. We've only been doing this pretty much since January, and we've already just crossed over 21,000 subscribers here. And so from the bottom of my heart, I love you guys 3,000 times. Well, it would be 7, if my math is correct. Thank you guys for hitting that subscribe button, for trusting me in your feed with my opinions, with my guides, with the random bits of news that kind of come up. But with that out of the way, let me just say thank you again, and let's talk about Sega. So one of the things that's been going on, I've been following this for a couple of months now, is obviously Sega and the state that it's in. Sega, Sammy, and one of the reasons why I put together my tier list for what and who Microsoft could buy. Now, I don't pretend to have inside information in this case. It's clear Sega has had a big business, lots of holdings in terms of their arcades and more, which if you guys haven't been following the news to catch you up, they are letting that business go. They are selling that off to a Chinese company. And the reason is that obviously COVID has hit them dramatically, but it's not all bad news. Sega's video games business is actually holding strong among all their financial setbacks and results. Some of the really cool things they're doing is the CEOs and the officers are taking pay cuts. I love seeing that. We've seen that actually happen with Nintendo in the past. Honestly, it's such a solid move. It's a real leadership move at the end of the day. Typically, we've all kind of gotten our fill, from these stories about like leaders who get like their like signing bonus, like all these massive bonuses despite massive layoffs within the company. And deep down, we all just kind of, myself included, wish that for better. My dad actually used to be a CEO, and one of the things that I kind of accredit to him is he always got paid last. If the company wasn't doing bad, he didn't get paid. If the company was doing great, he would. And that was something that I try to take and mirror in my own life. I try to take that example and apply that, kind of in a slight bit of judgment against other CEOs who don't do the same thing. But happy to see Sega making some good choices here. The bad news along with that is that they've had to let go or basically ask 650 people to go into early retirement for the games, for their whole business itself. So it doesn't necessarily look good, but like I said, Phantasy Star Online 2, there's been a lot of good moves, and the fact that we got Twinfinite right here reporting that overall their business holdings are really strong. So what does this mean? What could this overall mean for the future of gaming, the landscape of gaming, and more? Well, while I don't know if Microsoft is essentially going to be purchasing Sega, Phil Spencer recently just even commented that one of the things that their lineup really truly lacks is a lot of E-rated games, a lot of games that are just built for everybody. And as they build out their Game Pass model, that is essentially their platform. Just note, you're going to hear me say that multiple times. Game Pass is their platform. Hands down, I think it's going to be interesting to see if Sega becomes an option, because when we look at it, whether it's Microsoft, you also know that Stadia, we also know that Luma, like there's lots of big players coming into play. And one of the things that is true about games and this gaming industry is content is king. At the end of the day, gamers play wherever they are for the games that they want. And that's, I think, an important aspect of it. So this is interesting news, because if this either accelerates or if this essentially just kind of helps confirm things that we are like hearing rumors obviously behind the scenes, Sega I think would be an excellent choice to add their games into Game Pass. One of the things that's also lacking is that Sega, Sammy, they have a lot of IP, a lot of licenses, a lot of things that I think would benefit the Game Pass lineup. But that's one of the things about being the one at the ball, is that if you got 3 suitors, like you kind of have your choice. So maybe we'll see some kind of moves here. It will be unprecedented because we haven't seen that kind of impact within the Japanese market, but we do know that Microsoft has had a really good working relationship with Sega, bringing them into kind of more of the Azure kind of fold, and we're going to see if that continues on. Or, I think the best thing to do in my case is that, or in the Xbox's kind of landscape here, isn't necessarily to always have to be acquiring, but it's also to set up strong business relationship deals. If it's not just about owning Sega, if it's just about like what they've done with EA Play coming into kind of the whole fold here in a couple of days actually now, it's going to be ultimately interesting to see how that plays out. But I don't think it's necessarily all bad news for my Phantasy Star players out there. I think this is actually one of the things that shows how strong their lineup is and how valuable it is, despite all the things that are been failing and been going wrong in 2020. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to give you guys those thoughts. I also wanted to tell you again, I love you 3000. Thank you guys so much for just being here, hitting that subscribe button, and joining the Soul Nation here at Ginger Prime. I'm going to wrap up this video. I got to get some work done. It's going to be a busy weekend, giving my wife, Julie, the weekend off. So I'm going to take the kids, let her have, hopefully a quiet, relaxing, event-less weekend. And so if you guys don't hear from me this weekend, hopefully you guys have a fantastic week. I love you very much, and I hope to see you in my next video. But until then, take care. This video is sponsored by me, Ginger Prime. Hopefully you'll check out my podcast channel, Ginger Gaming Radio, which we have lots of guests, lots of great conversations, and even more highlights. Links are in the description below. Let me know what you think. Thanks.